Over the All-Star break, we've all gotten a chance to relax a bit without NBA games on for a while, and in this time we can take a step back and analyze how the season has gone so far. Starting on Monday, I began going through every position, and after thinking long and hard about how each player stacks up with their opposition at that position, began ranking the 10 best players at each spot along with a few honorable mentions. So far we've gone through the point guards, the shooting guards, and the small forwards, so if you missed any of those rankings, make sure to go check them out after you watch this. And now today, we'll naturally be moving on to the power forward position. I'll be completely honest, the power forward spot is probably one of the weaker positions of the 5, all things considered, but it does have some elite talent at the top, and there are quite a few players on the brink of breaking out into stardom as well. Before we start, though, I want to thank PrizePicks for sponsoring this video. PrizePicks is the perfect service for all of us basketball fans here because when you're involved, it makes watching games every night so much more fun and engaging. Basically, it's an application that provides you with lines on all kinds of individual player props, such as points, rebounds, assists, three-pointers made, amongst others, and you simply have to choose whether you believe they will record over the set amount in the line or under the set amount in the line. Make your selections, wager however much you want to, and if your picks hit, you can win some big money. With NBA games resuming tonight, we're back making some picks of our own, and some that I like are Josh Hart to score over 16.5 points, Seth Curry to make over 2.5 threes, and Andre Drummond to grab over 10.5 rebounds. If this sounds at all intriguing to you, then go use the link down in the description of the video to sign up today, and use promo code REFERENCE to receive a 100% deposit match bonus up to $100. Once again, thank you to PrizePicks for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the topic at hand. Before we get into the top 10, I want to start with a few honorable mentions that just missed the cut, and the players in this category are Kristaps Porzingis, Jeremy Grant, and Zion Williamson. Again, as was the case in previous videos with injured players, I can't in good faith rank someone like Zion when he hasn't played a single game this year, so while he has the talent to obviously be one of the highest ranked players on this list when he's healthy, he needs to first recover and get back onto the court to prove that again. Porzingis is another player that may be a surprising one to see here, but he was having his worst shooting season of his career, making just 28% of his threes, and he's also struggled to stay healthy this season, so he just misses the cut. Jeremy Grant has proven he can be a reliable scorer in his time in Detroit, but he isn't exactly efficient in that role, and while he wants to remain a go-to guy, I just don't think any team will be a winner with him in that big of a role. Now to start things off at number 10 and work our way up to that top spot, we have Tobias Harris of the Philadelphia 76ers. Harris is someone who quietly gives you about 19 points per game on 48% shooting from the field and has improved as a defender in Philly as well. Unfortunately, he has one of the worst contracts in the league right now, and his production doesn't match up to his payday, but in a vacuum, he's been a decently reliable secondary option and has done a solid job helping Joel Embiid keep the 76ers afloat without Ben Simmons, although he does come up short in important moments quite a bit, so that is where he struggles the most. Next up at number 9, we have John Collins of the Atlanta Hawks. Collins played his best basketball during the Hawks conference finals run last postseason, but hasn't quite been able to replicate that performance this season. He is still having a very strong year though, averaging about 17 points and 8 rebounds per game. He's shooting the ball very efficiently at 53% from the field and 39% from 3, and he's remained vocal about wanting a bigger role on the offense too, but the Hawks are struggling this season, and that definitely hasn't helped things. So we'll see what the future holds for him, whether it continues to be in Atlanta or possibly somewhere else if things get bad enough. Next up at number 8, we have Julius Randle of the New York Knicks. Last season, Randle seemed to have turned a corner, but then the playoffs came around and he fell back down to earth, and that reality check has continued into this season. Randle has pretty much always been an empty numbers guy. His questionable shot selection and inefficiency hamper his teams more than they help, and despite his per-game averages looking better on paper than some of the other players on this list, the more advanced metrics demonstrate how much his game actually hinders the team at times, and Knicks fans that watch every night can definitely vouch for that. Up next at number 7, we have Jaren Jackson Jr. of the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, to go in the exact opposite end of the spectrum compared to Julius Randle, Jackson is a player whose per-game averages do not tell the whole story. Jaren is a vital cog in the Grizzlies' third-place stature at the moment, as his versatility defensively holds everything together for them, and he is making a very good case to be named to an all-defense team this season. Offensively, he's a good roll man and capable perimeter shooter, but admittedly his three-point shooting has been pretty inconsistent this year, so if he improves there like he's shown he can do in the past, he could be even better. Next up at number 6, we have Miles Bridges of the Charlotte Hornets. Miles Bridges is one of the most improved players on this season and will definitely be in the running for that award. He plays both forward positions but has played primarily as the 4 more than the 3, which is why he's on this list, and with averages of 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists per game, while shooting 48% from the field, he's become a much more lethal scoring threat, especially with the explosiveness at the rim and off the dribble that he possesses. Up next at number 5, we have Evan Mobley of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Mobley's rookie season has been tremendous, and his two-way impact has immediately helped the Cavaliers go from a team near the bottom of the standings to competing with the best teams in the East. He starts alongside Jarrett Allen in the team's front court, and together they terrorize opponents, trying to attack the rim, protecting it as well or better than anyone else in the league, and the Cavaliers' top 5 ranked defense backs that up. Offensively, Mobley isn't one of their go-to scoring options necessarily, but he is still averaging about 15 points and 8 rebounds per game, and has nice touch around the basket and a developing three-point shot. Next up at number 4, we have Draymond Green of the Golden State Warriors. Draymond is always, without question, the most contentious player to rank because he's not someone who scores a lot of points, but his value is so obvious to the success of the Warriors. He's their primary playmaker, averaging about 7.5 assists per game. He's very much in the Defensive Player of the Year race, and may be the leader again, giving the Warriors dominance on that end in so many different ways, and while I know many of you won't like it, he is one hell of a talent that impacts the game much more than most. Next up at number 3, we have Pascal Siakam of the Toronto Raptors. Siakam was probably the biggest snub from the All-Star game this year, as he's having a tremendous season all around. He's giving the Raptors a good bit of everything, averaging about 22 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. He's knocking down 50% of his shots, he's playing good defense, and he's helping the Raptors stay in the playoff race, despite most people expecting them to fade out this year. Up next at number 2, we have Anthony Davis of the Los Angeles Lakers. If the powered forward position was stronger, then he may have tumbled down this list further because he's having a pretty poor season all around for his standards. He may still be averaging about 23 points and 10 rebounds per game, but his jump shooting from both the mid-range and from 3 has been dreadful. His defense has fallen off a cliff, not impacting the end as much as he used to do it, and his struggles definitely play a part in the Lakers' struggles as a whole. Not to mention, he's been in and out of the lineup due to injuries too, so his availability has been questionable as well. And finally, the number 1 spot on this list of best power forwards in the league goes to Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis was the obvious choice here because not only is he the best power forward in the league, but he's arguably the best player in the league. He's the defending Finals MVP, he's once again in the MVP race this year, he could even be in the Defensive Player of the Year race, and all of this is to say his dominance made this an easy choice. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below how you would rank the power forwards. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.